What traits in birth charts, specifically for girls, indicate the potential of being a heartbreaker, man-eater, player in love and relationships? This is a juicy question. I'm excited. Let's talk about it. Now, when I read natal charts, I don't look at one sole placement to indicate if someone is like a fuck boy or a girl, because it's not just, looking at Venus sign. To figure these placements out, you're kind of looking, mainly focusing on Moon, Venus, Mars together to figure out like what this person's perspective is towards love and relationships. And also there is a difference between naturally radiating like player, heartbreaker energy versus actually being a heartbreaker or non-committal in relationships. Disclaimer alert, this is for delusional purposes only. If you have these traits and you're like, I'm not a fuckboy, like, I'm so committed in relationships, like, that's just you. You do you. Life genuinely has a bigger impact than astrology. And I am just using my natal chart for visual purposes, even though I don't really have any placements that like indicate player energy, maybe except my Venus in 5th house, but again it's in Pisces, so I'm too much of a lover girl to ever be a heartbreaker. Right off the bat, low-key Sagittarius placements, either rising Venus on Mars. If you have these energy, you most likely are a heartbreaker or you have the appearance of one, depending on your Venus sign. A really good example of this for all my 18ies out there is Mingy with his Sagittarius rising. Now, to me, he has such like fuckboy player energy on stage, yet with his Virgo Venus, the chances of him being a fuckboy are lower than expected. But because he has Sagittarius rising, it appears like he is, because Sagittariuses, they're very charming, they're very charming like Geminis, in that they sometimes just have this such nonchalant energy around them when it comes to people and relationships. It's like you almost want to challenge yourself to get into that soft spot. Sagittarius and Gemini placements, for me in general, they are sister signs to each other in traditional astrology. To me, give off very much like a heartbreaker, man-eater energy in both like femme and masc identifying people, because they give you this idea of wanting to challenge yourself to actually like break through that facade and find their romantic spot. But me personally, the most like fuckboy non-committal Sagittarius placement for me is a Sag Venus, because most women whose natal charts I've read personally who have had a Sagittarius Venus are the type that they can detach romantic and emotional intimacy for physical intimacy, because physical intimacy is just very much a game to them, something that they find biological pleasure in. They usually have a high drive, so they require a lot of it. It's just something that they do purely to help make themselves feel good in their femininity and their empowerment, rather than actively seeking a romantic connection with someone. So Sag and Gemini Venus, for me, in a female natal chart, definitely gives me player energy. Any type of Venus sign that I guess is considered detrimental or like a less emotional like Venus sign placement, to me usually has a higher chance of being a heartbreaker or a player in relationships. If I see a woman or a femme identifying person and they have their Venus or Lilith in the 2nd, 7th or 10th house, automatically to me that also gives off like heartbreaker, man-eater, player energy for different reasons. Venus is second house. The second house rules over possessions, self-worth, and is typically ruled by Taurus. Taurus is like Pisces, is known for having issues with balance and being excessive. You know, that's why there's always that rumor that if Dionysus, you know, was a zodiac sign, he'd be a Taurus. This placement, low-key, can be known for having like man-eater, heartbreaker, player energy, because they just need and crave an excessive amount of like appreciation and adoration to feel satisfied. With the seventh house, it's a little bit different. They can be like heartbreaker, like man-eater players, because they constantly need you know, interactions, romantic interactions, in order to feel emotionally secure as a person. I see this a lot with women who are unhealed, who have Venuses in the seventh house. And again, like, just no judgment. This is just something that I see with my natal charts. You know, these are the type of women who constantly have a partner. They're constantly seeking love. They're constantly looking for a partner to take care of them, because firstly, they just don't want to be alone, or they have a fear of, you know, being alone permanently. And secondly, they kind of just need that almost codependent connection to feel approval of themselves and who they are in their identity. 10th and 11th house Venus is also, for me, like same as with Lilith in the 10th or 11th house, for me is also like a man-eater, heartbreaker placement, as in these women I've noticed, like, low-key are not afraid to like use their seduction and their more desirable parts of themselves to like promote and work their way to the top. Like, you know, these are the women who do what they can to get that CEO position, or to get that job or that position, you know, like no matter what it takes kind of heartbreaker, man-eater energy. Libra placements for sure. Particularly, I've noticed more women tend to, like with Libra placements, tend to have like more like heartbreaker, man-eater, player energy than men with Libra placements. And I think it's because Libra is, I think, from what I remember, is actually like a more female like identifying zodiac sign. I definitely know that compared to Aries, you know, who's the sister sign to Libra, that Libra is a more feminine one. And I think it's because these are women who are switched on with knowing what makes them sexy and beautiful to the male gaze, and just using that to their utmost advantage. And Librans, to me, like, they just give off such heartbreaker energy, particularly like women with Libra placements, because these are the type to make you feel so special around them. Like, they know what you need in order for you to feel appreciated by their presence, in order for your self-esteem to be boosted around them. And it's almost like you become addicted to that constant, you know, feel good energy that you have with them. And then when they just ghost you, or when you find out that they're actually not interested in you, you know, you do get heartbroken, because it's like, oh my God, like, where do I get my, you know, serotonin hit now? This person is not going to make me feel special anymore. People always include Scorpio placements. I don't know. I'm not entirely believing it. Maybe because I'm a Scorpio rising and I have no game when it comes to flirtation. So I'm just maybe personally biased because my Scorpio rising is defective. I think Scorpio placements tend to give off the illusion of being a heartbreaker or a man-eater, more so than actually being a heartbreaker or man-eater, because most Scorpio placements are just so strongly like identify with themselves and who they are, that they almost seem unobtainable, because they're so insecure in themselves. And like Aries, they're known to ghost or immediately drop things if they think that you're not genuine as a person. So is it their fault or yours? Anyway, K-pop readings are still open. What do you think? Do you have any other placements that you think share these tendencies, drop in the chat box below. But year in a row, by the way, I've been redoing his birthday video for 2 years now. So Mingy was born at 4 p.m. It's not his approximate birth time, but he said he was born circa 4 p.m, which makes him a Leo sun, a Cancer moon, a Virgo Venus in retrograde, and a Scorpio Mars with a Sagittarius rising. And for me, no one gets more Sagittarius rising than Mingy, who's textbook Sag coded in a man. Look at this goddess, god of a man. He is so Centaur Sagittarius coded. Look at him. He is tall. He is long. He is thick everywhere. He has broad shoulders, that tiny waist, the big thighs. He is textbook Sagittarius rising in a man. Also, I haven't mentioned this in my previous 2 videos of Mingy, but I just realized he also has his Pluto conjunct ascendant. And on a man, this makes everything more expanded because Pluto is a sign of a planet of expansion. So this just emphasizes his Sagittarius rising even more. Truly broad and long and thick everywhere. Case in point with the Pluto comment, have you not seen how huge Mingy's hands are? I repeatedly say this, no one is clocking it. Mingy has bigger hands than Yunho. He has longer fingers. Yunho's fingers and hands just look bigger because he has skinnier fingers. And this is what I mean with the Pluto conjunct Sagittarius. This man is long and broad and thick everywhere. That's the last time I will say that, by the way, in this video, but I also think it's really obvious. Like, it is obscenely obvious. So what does this mean as a boyfriend? Firstly, he has his moon in the 8th house and his Mars in the 12th. Now, people who have this placement, anyone who has an 8th house or a 12th house placement, they are extremely intuitive in the environment around them, and to a certain point can actually have very psychic tendencies. Like Mingy as a boyfriend would probably pick up your emotions before you do. But of course, because it's in Cancer, if he doesn't protect his own energy and his own barriers, this could manifest in him just soaking up like all the energy and the emotions of his loved ones around him. And especially with his moon in the 8th house, he really struggles with releasing that, especially with his Cancer moon. And with his 12th house Mars too, these are people who bottle up so much of their emotions, and it just does tend to release in the most innocuous of situations. Like, he could be doing the dishes and one of the dishes could not be up to his standards, and that's enough to make him explode. However, to bring it back to a more positive level, this man is an absolute ride or die for you. This man will go to the ends of hell and back for you. There is nothing that this man would not do for you if he is completely in love and adores you. This is a man who gets really attached easily but won't show it, who becomes, out of all the members of ATs, Mingy to me is the one that's most likely going to worship and idolize you in a relationship, which is why I always say that Mingy, out of all the members, is the Omega. He is the most submissive member of ATs, and that's because he truly needs someone to make conscious decisions with him. He is someone that really struggles to make decisions on his own because he overthinks and he over-internalizes everything, and he also experiences a lot of doubt towards his skills and how much he can emotionally handle. Moving onward to Mingy's type, so he has his 5th house in Aries and he has a Virgo Venus in retrograde, which to me makes sense that he has a 5th house in Aries. Look at the relationship that he has with Yunho. Regarding what this means in terms of romantic and emotional attraction, he's attracted to people that can make decisions. He's attracted to people who have a straightforward personality. He's attracted to people who are assertive and are very precise in their decision making. Also with his Venus in the 10th house, because the 10th house represents image and reputation and also the way that you interact on like a work, corporate, interpersonal level, Attractiveness is a high trait for Mingy, which is not a bad thing. Like, I don't think it's ever a bad thing to prioritize physical attractiveness, because with his Venus in the 10th house, he wants someone that looks good that he can show off. He wants someone that matches his energy in public. He wants people to see that him and his partner are a power couple. Now, men with a Virgo Venus, not necessarily all the time, but if they have Cancer Moon or Mars, they do look for caregiving women. I'm not saying Mingy is attracted to women for sure, but I'm not assuming his sexual orientation. But as a female, he is going to look for women who have a maternal energy. He wants a woman to take care of him. Like, people say Yunho is the golden retriever of ATs. I actually think Mingy has more golden retriever energy, because he will do absolutely anything for you if you tell him what to do. Like, yeah, he might be a brat about it, he might be defiant, but he is someone that really does struggle with making his own decisions, because it's not the fact that he's a lazy, it's because he overthinks, over-internalizes, the self-doubt and the anxiety gets to him, that he probably can overthink more of the outcome of the decision than just actually making the decision himself. So in terms of his natal chart, there are 3 different types of women he's attracted to. Firstly, with his Aries 5th house, this manifests in women who can look really good in streetwear, look really good in red, who look really good in like lots of patterns and textures. The biggest example I can think of right now is Rihanna, who is an Aries moon and rising. Like, think like bling, jewelry, fierce makeup, streetwear, urban wear. With his Virgo Venus in the 10th house, this can also manifest in him being attracted to the minimal clean girl aesthetic, dewy skin, minimal clothing, really corporate look as well. Someone that looks really beautiful in their natural state. Think someone who can look really hot in a black dress and stockings, and they can also look really hot in a slouchy jumper and leggings. And finally, with his Scorpio Mars in the 12th, again, very strong, dark feminine energy, but also can look very dreamy, like very doe-like eyes. Whenever I think of Pisces, I just think of Sabrina Carpenter, that coquette aesthetic. And my opinion has absolutely not changed at all. I do still believe that Mingy is a switch, but like 80-90% submissive. He is the Omega of ATs. I mean, you cannot tell me that after looking at this photo that this man isn't an Omega. Look at the way he looks at Yunho, who is the most dominant member of ATs. He just looks like he'll drop for him instantly. Also, with his Mars in the 12th house, he would be such a bratty sub too, because it's like you're putting him in a situation where he has no choice but to feel his feelings. Like I said, you just tell him what to do and he will absolutely adore you for it. Like, in my opinion, he's like the ultimate service caregiver sub. And you can fight me on that, because you know I'm right. Oh yeah, we're going to go there with this video.